What's up, North America? I'm Dave DeBaugh, and thanks so much for tuning into the Underrated Pod today. Now, on today's show, we are going to talk about Cheryl Miller, the legendary USC basketball player, Cheryl Miller, who actually had some really insightful and I think to the point comments about Caitlin Clark that, quite frankly, I think a lot of people miss. We're going to go and play that soundbite for you now, and then I'm back with some thoughts after that.
There are a lot of shooters out there.
Right.
There are shooters that are natural, shooters who work on their game, shooters who need several screens to get open. You can set a screen for Caitlin. Caitlin don't need a screen. Caitlin's got great handles. The one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
The
bounce pass is powerful,
which is almost non-existent in the game.
So that was the legendary Cheryl Miller. I think some really insightful comments that Cheryl Miller makes about Caitlin Clark. Specifically, there were 2 points that she points out that I think are absolutely spot on. We're going to cover those. I do want to mention this. Over the weekend, I was actually at a barbecue, and let's just say there were a lot of men over the age of 40 at this specific barbecue, and we actually ended up talking about the WNBA. This is absolutely something that would not have happened 12 months ago. Just another example of the Caitlin Clark effect actually working its way into, if you will, society. Now, Cheryl Miller points out 2 things about Caitlin Clark, and quickly, the first one being that she doesn't need screens. She can actually find her own shots. And I think that is certainly true with Caitlin Clark. However, I disagree. I think the Indiana Fever and their head coach, Christy Sides, should do a better job in actually creating looks for Caitlin Clark. But still, the point is valid in that she doesn't really need a screen to get a three-point shot off. But the primary point that I think Cheryl Miller makes that I completely agree with, and it is actually one of the things I was talking about at this particular barbecue over the weekend, which is, so many people actually underestimate and underrate, if you will, Caitlin Clark's passing ability. I know she has a lot of turnovers, and those things will take care of themselves. Over time, the game is actually going to slow down for Caitlin Clark, and the turnover to assist ratio will get better. But just from a pure passing standpoint, oh my gosh, I've been following basketball, all forms of basketball, by the way, for well over 30 years. And yes, I've been watching the WNBA for quite some time, not just over the last 12 months. And I can confidently tell you that from a pure passing ability, Caitlin Clark absolutely reminds me to some extent of what a Magic Johnson could do on the basketball court. Now, I'm not saying she's Magic Johnson. I'm not saying she's at that level. But I am saying is Caitlin Clark's bag, so to speak, her ability to actually make a bounce pass is sort of the lost art of basketball, which for some reason is no longer taught at all at the youth level. Caitlin Clark's ability to see the court and make passes were basically no other players in the WNBA would even consider it, is certainly one of the things that separates Caitlin Clark from a lot of other players. You have to remember, Caitlin Clark is just a rookie. Look, I remember watching Magic Johnson in the Showtime era Los Angeles Lakers. I was growing up in LA at the time, and I was fortunate enough to make it to 1 or 2 of those Showtime Laker games. I've never seen anybody pass the ball like a Magic Johnson. Caitlin Clark might be a few degrees below where Magic Johnson was, but she is, considerably shorter, And she, has other specialties that she does well as well. I mean, Magic Johnson wasn't really known for his shooting, was he? That being said, Caitlin Clark's ability to actually run the show for the Indiana Fever is the reason this team is at this point just 3 games under 500. All right, North America, that's it. It is a short, and I do mean short, underrated pod for today. Let me know what you think. Hey, listen, when you have a chance, check out our Big Sports website at underrated.media. Sign up for our daily. We do cover the WNBA every day in our daily newsletter as well. All right, that's it for the Underrated. I am Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day. Till the guitar riffs we go.
You've been listening to the Underrated Podcast with Dave Daba, presented by underrated.media.